What is up, everybody? We are back. Please say hello to my co-host, Heather C. This
Hello.
is the George Mossey Show. So we watched Extreme Sisters Season 2, Episode 10, the finale. And we have a lot to cover. A lot has happened, but there's a lot of unanswered questions too. So no tell-all kind of leaves us hanging on a cliff with nothing to cling on to. We don't know what's going on. Let's talk about what we saw with V and Ashley last night. So we found out that after Ashley was unable to make it or did not go to the cardiologist appointment. There was like a 2-week period where V and Ashley had little to no communication. Now, I learned that the fertility appointment was not in Texas. They actually flew all the way to Los Angeles for that. I don't know if everybody on the show caught that, because when you looked at the skyline of the doctor's office, that was Los Angeles. So they didn't just jump in the car and drive to the doctor's office for that fertility appointment. They got on a plane. So V felt very offended when Ashley didn't go to the cardiologist appointment with her because it was right in the same town where they live. It wasn't that serious. It wasn't a plane ride. It wasn't a hotel stay. So she was very hurt because she felt like they were in this together. This was something that they were doing as sisters. This was something that they did, against the judgment of their families, their loved ones. Everybody involved was not on board, and they were doing this together. And then V felt when she got her cardiologist report back, Ashley was unable to be there and she kind of felt abandoned. She wanted to have her support system there. And the comment that Ashley made, saying, well, I'm just going to get a dog. This is too much work. It's too much stress for me. It's too expensive. It really hurt because we have to remember that V is the mother of 10 children. So she distinguishes between human life and animals very differently. And we know that V has a dog and she loves her dog a lot, but she does not ever put dogs and children in the same category because she knows that children are literally a gift directly from God. And animals, yes, they're beautiful, but they will never take the place of a child. So V came to the conclusion that she can no longer carry the baby. So I want to get your reaction on that because she said she understands why she said it, but she can't get past it. So do you feel like V is being harsh? Do you feel like the punishment fits the crime? Like, where are you at with this? Because a lot of people on Twitter are like, well, that's not fair. She abandoned her. She promised she would do it. How do you feel?
Okay, so basically, I wanted to start off by saying I'm extremely disappointed in TLC for the way they portrayed this whole series this year. I love Extreme Sisters. I get to know and love the sisters on the show. And I feel like this year it was just like they didn't do any of them any justice. Like we didn't really get a chance. It was all like one-sided stories with everybody. And we didn't get to see like everything, and it was just, I don't know, it was just something about it. And then you said it was already 10 episodes. It didn't even feel like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And a lot of series I get bored and I'm like, oh, is this over yet? And I like really enjoy watching this show. So I really hope that if they decide to bring this back for another season, they get it together and do these sisters right and portray them in the right light and show why they're extreme. But back to the V and Ashley situation. So I think with this situation, it's a hard pill to swallow because I think people forget that even though Ashley is a human being with feelings who unfortunately is unable to give birth to her child, V also is a human being with feelings. And she was willing to put everything out there. I think she had said it herself, her relationship, like how her children felt, her body,
Yeah.
and it was so quickly dismissed. And whether, Ashley did it intentionally or she was just acting upon her own hurtful feelings, I think that it had made V realize, like, whoa, is this truly appreciated or not? Or is it just kind of like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And to me, when you're going through all that, I mean, there are people that literally have died from having
Mhm.
childbirth. Like,
Right.
you just don't know. And unfortunately, the older women get, the more complications and problems and harder it is to carry children. So it's a lot on your body. Plus, she has to continue to be a human being, a mother to her other children, and a wife, and all that other good stuff. So I don't fault her for saying, I'm going to take a step back We need to, figure some stuff out, see if you can find another surrogate. And if not, we can revisit the situation. And I know that's not what Ashley wanted to hear, because she looked at it as, whoa, I thought we were ride or die. You told me, from the jump, you were going to do this. But as a human being, you have feelings. You have to realize that sometimes people handle situations differently. And if you're going to put your life on the line for somebody, you have to make sure that it's 100. You have to make sure that you're going to be appreciated, you're going to be taken care of. If she couldn't even make it to her appointment, if she couldn't even make it to see how her appointment went, she probably looks at it like, well, what if we're doing a checkup? What if I go into labor early? What if there's complications? Like what if? So I don't necessarily think that it was a bad thing for her to step back on it. If it works, it works. I mean, it's literally, if the child is meant to be, it will happen. And I think Ashley said it herself. If my daughter is meant to be here, she will be here. And I don't want to see anything that will drive a wedge in between V and Ashley, because I mean, they have such an incredible bond, especially for being step. They're not even like full blood twins or anything like that. They're step brought together by marriage. And the fact that they have such a secure bond with each other, I would hate to see anything be so long-term harmed or broken. So it's smart. I know people are upset with V for being a human and having feelings, but she's entitled to it. Her feelings were hurt too.
Yeah.
So I think people in general need to look at it from both sides of the fence. Why is this person upset? Why is this person upset? Why is it smart to stop? And if the finances are a problem in a 6-month time, that gives you some time to get your finances together.
That's true. That's true.
It's not always have to be for the negative. People have to learn to look at stuff in a better light. Not everything has to be negative.
Yeah, she didn't say she wouldn't do it. She said, let's give it some time. And I think time is important. I feel like this situation tested their bond.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to come out stronger, but it takes, like you said, time. As the time passes and the feelings are less high and heated, I think that that's going to prove that this was not a test that they couldn't pass. They're still going to be there for each other. They just need time to mend from this situation. So I want to talk about Randy and Jordan, because we got a little closure from them this season, because we know that Randy and Derek got married. We got a few snippets of the wedding. We didn't get the whole thing, but the house that she got married at, the castle that she got married at, was amazing. I was like, this is beautiful. She did face plant right after she said I do, but she was okay. She was completely fine. So we're glad that Randy is okay. Randy and Derek have decided to allow Jordan on the honeymoon. So I want to get your raw reaction to that before we even go any further, because there was another announcement. But Daniel's staying home, and Randy, Jordan, and Derek are going on the honeymoon. And it is the same situation. They won't be staying in the same room or anything. But what's your raw reaction on that? Would you want your sister on your honeymoon with you?
No, but I am not as close with my sisters. If it's kind of weird. Like, I can see, even though I don't have the same case scenario in my life, I can kind of see why they want to do it. So, like, even though America finds it to be weird and like, oh no, this should be intimate moments between you and your husband or whatever, it will be. But I get what she's saying. Like, even though you're going to spend a lot of time with your husband because it's your honeymoon, there will be times where you want to do something. Like, okay, if there's ever a time in your life where you're doing something, even if you're spending time with somebody, if you're on vacation with somebody, you don't step away for 2 seconds, you don't go to the restroom, you don't shower, you don't make a phone call to somebody, whatever. Yeah. Why is it? Or maybe he wants to lie down, he's tired, he wants to take a nap, but she still wants to go out and sightsee. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, wouldn't it be better for her to share those experiences with her sister than roam someplace by herself and something, God forbid, happened to her? You always hear that on the news. Like, people always go missing and stuff off of like all these vacations and cruises and stuff. It's like, at least they'll be traveling in pairs.
Yeah.
Or, like, just there for some support. he's a twin too. He knows what he got himself into. So I'm sick and tired of America always trying to make people look crazy. The title of this show is Extreme Sisters. You knew that these people on the show share a bond that most people in America do not share with other people. That's what made them unique and have unique relationships. So me as a person, I don't have the same type of situation in my life. But if I did, I probably would feel the same way.
Randy and Jordan have decided that they're going to live apart. Well, I don't want to say Jordan decided this. I want to say Randy decided it, and Jordan is just having to deal with it because she's not really okay with the idea of her sister moving out. But she does say she understands because they are married with husbands and they're going to be starting families. She understands that the time has to be, completely fair between each other and their husband. So she understands that she's not happy about it. And I feel like Randy is doing this, but I don't really know if she's ready because their whole life they've always done everything together. And there was a short time where she did have an apartment before they moved in together in this house, but it was like a year lease on that apartment. So 1 year out of your whole life is not a very long time. So I'm just wondering if their bond is going to change. Like, how close is this house going to be? Is it going to be in the same subdivision, in the same area, on the west side of town or the east side? Like, how close is this going to be? Because I really don't know how they're going to be able to deal with not being together. They do everything together. They literally go get butt injections together at Jordan's job. Like, this is a big step. And I don't know if they're really emotionally ready to accept not being in each other's life. And I know Randy wants to make her husband happy, and that's only fair because they're married. He did a lot for her. He bought her a $30,000 ring. She wants to make sure that he's happy, but I just wonder, how is it going to be emotionally detaching yourself from someone who's been in your life your whole life? And just because they don't live together, I don't want to say that detaching, because you can still spend time together and not live together. But this is going to be different for them because they've spent most of their life, literally minus like a year, together.
Exactly. I think no matter where they choose to live or what they choose to do with their life, we know that they're going to be over each other's houses all the time, like they live together. So the only thing that's different is that at least that they'll have the separation where it will be two different houses. So if they need to like get away, at least it will be separate. But we know that they're going to be over each other's houses all the time. And personally, I don't think that her husband thought it over too well, because at least if they were in the same household, she'd be just either upstairs or downstairs or in the bathroom, whatever. Now he has to worry about her physically being somewhere outside of the house, at her sister's house, watching a movie, staying the night. I mean, if they're sleeping together in the same bed, that's a nightly thing. So that's another reason why I had said that I think that TLC did not do a very good job this season with portraying, because it's like she had a whole marriage and we only saw snippets of it. Now, maybe that could have been Randy's decision to do that, but I don't know. I just think that, like, obviously the season was probably only approved for so many episodes, but there was so much pointless crap that they put in this season that they could have took out and replaced with valuable information. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, without a tell-all, we're all left with like, what are we watching? What was the point of this? Why do we meet these people? Do we even need to? It just, to me, I needed more. For people that enjoy watching something, you want to be left feeling like, okay, I feel content. I know what happened. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I feel like we were introduced to people, we started to learn a little bit about them, and then they just yanked it from us. And then it's like, they might not even come back. Even if they do bring Extreme Sisters back, they might not even bring these same sisters back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We get to know them and then you yank them away and we want to know more.
Or
all right, guys, that's
tell-all.
it. We have run out of time. Yes, I wish there was a tell-all. We've run out of time, guys. That's it. Extreme Sisters Season 2. My co-host and I loved hosting this podcast. We love getting to know these sisters. I'm George Mossey. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, georgemossey.com. And anywhere you get your podcast, please follow my co-host Heather C. as well. Thank you so much to all of these sisters and your families for sharing your journeys with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it and love learning about you. We'll see all of you guys next season.